We're coming up here out of the spot bridge, so yeah, let's make a northbound turn. A northbound turn. We'll go due north here as slow as you can go. I'll direct you if we need to go back, but I think this is going to be our best shot in here. Give me the most destruction you can find that's really visible, Marcel. All right, that was Fair Oaks and East Loma Alta. All right. We should go back. We should go back towards the north a little bit. The more we're looking straight down, the better it's going to be. Right here, hit this heading right here. Go ahead and move a little bit. Pick the nose over a little. The smoke's sort of drifting over there, so the more we look straight down, the better. Yep. Popping. DeMarco, we're looking down over Pasadena and Altadena, and I tell you, we just noticed this, or just able to view this probably about 15 to 20 minutes ago because the smoke finally cleared. You can tell it's pretty hazy in there. The devastation is just overwhelming. We have a report of about 4,000 homes that were lost. We believe it's going to be more than that, but each one of these blocks, every row of homes has been lost, and especially the homes up in the higher elevations, up along the hillside. And you can imagine what it must have been like. It was Tuesday afternoon. It started into the evening. Speeds up to 80 miles an hour with the winds. It came right through this area. We have reports at least 5 people were killed, but we do see the medical examiner here and the sheriff's department going home to check to see if more people may have been trapped. But it's really difficult to describe this. It's saddening. It's overwhelming. It's going to be a long time before these people recover, and there's still some of the areas that we have not been able to see because of the smoke. The fire itself is laid down a little bit, but certainly we've got a long road ahead of us to recover. Well, they've actually made a lot of progress. You see the area that burned, we just tilted off that, and then I'll push up into the Angeles National Forest, and that's where the fire is burning now. It's inaccessible. Fires are burned for weeks up in this area before they're able to put them out. So right now they've made a lot of progress, especially down by the homes. It doesn't look like there's any threat right now that they're going to lose more homes, at least in the short term, because the winds have died down. The fire has moved into the mountainous area, and they protected all of the homes. But we do have some Santa Ana wind conditions that are forecast for the weekend. If we get Santa Ana wind conditions that are high enough, it could rekindle this fire, and sadly we could lose more homes. Absolutely. Sure. What's that? Oh, I didn't listen. Now the Palisades fire is the most destructive in state history. I thought it was. When did they do that? When did they change that? Oh, well. That's it right there, Jay. Sounds like I'm still hearing GMA. Yeah, we're finished with me, as far as I know. How much time? And it's for local, right? All right. All right. Are they rolling? Playback rolling? All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, mark. We are of the Eaton fire. We're looking down over Pasadena, and it was just moments ago we were able to get around and see some of the smoke lift in this area. Right there's the coroner van. Sadly, we know at least 5 people were killed in this fire, but as we came around the bend, we saw the smoke sort of move out, and we really got a realization of just how much has been destroyed here. It really looks a lot like what we saw with the Palisades fire. This isn't just one stretch of homes here that are like tract homes in the Palisades. These homes are more spread out, but you could tell block after block after block has been lost. Reported 4,000 structures lost or damaged. I think that number is going to go up. It could be well over 4,000 homes. I'll give you a little perspective and pull out of this shot. You can see off to the left side of your screen, that's going to be JPL. The fire moved down that ridge line. JPL was saved, but as we come back to the right, you'll see this entire area, that area off of Fair Oaks, up towards Alta, East Loma Alta Drive. Every single home just about was lost. You'll see a home every now and then it was standing, but for the most part, everything is gone. Total destruction in this area. Also want to show you a little bit about what's going on at the moment and where the fire is burning. It has moved away from all the homes. I don't see any homes that are threatened by this fire at the moment. The fire is burning up in the Angeles National Forest. They were able to save Mount Wilson. That is good news, although the electricity may be down and some of the antennas and receiver sites may not be working. But right now it's smoldering up in that area. Still a lot of smoke, extremely unhealthy air, but I don't see any structures that are threatened. We're hoping the winds stay calm and they don't kick up once again. From Air 7, I'm Scott Reif, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. All right, a little long, but thanks. Okay, as long as it's over by noon, I'm fine. No, we're okay, a little bit for fuel. Yeah, I'm with you now. We're local. Okay. Pretty good right here if you can hover. Yeah. Okay. We'll give another 20 minutes or so. go back to the east. Where is the corner? I'll probably go to that. Might be getting obscured by smoke. Okay. You know, you can go back to where you were before, a little cleaner shot, but I might go to that. Okay. All right, very good. Give me the most destructive shot that you can find. Yeah, sure. Okay, great. Yeah, I think we should go back to slowly to the north and to the west. I think that'll help us look straight down through the smoke a little bit. Yeah, right here. And as slow as you can. Hover if you can. Huh. Yeah, boy, I tell you, the devastation is just overwhelming in the macro when you look at everything and you just look down at this area. You to compare it to the Palisades fire, they're both just horrific. This appears to be just as bad on the same type of scale. It's interesting, it was about the same time yesterday morning, the smoke cleared in the Palisades and we got a look. And when we looked at the Palisades, we thought, well, is that really what we're seeing? Because it was through the smoke. And then as we pushed in more and more and more, all we saw was home after home after home that was lost. Can we go to the medical examiner? We are seeing more of the medical examiner responding to different homes. Now, as you can imagine, they have to go through all these homes, Philip. They have to clear them. The medical examiner, the coroner, has been called here, so they're more than likely is one of the fatalities. We see no vehicles in here except for police and fire. And none of the homes right now in Altadena or in Pasadena are threatened by fire. The fire has moved up into the Angeles National Forest. But on the left side of your screen, that's JPL to give you a little perspective, maybe even a little wider, Marcel. We can see the 210 freeway there, I think. So there's the 210 freeway. The Rose Bowl would be on the left. And this is the area just north of the 210 off of Fair Oaks and Pasadena and Altadena that really got hit so hard. Almost every single home in some of these blocks has been lost. Now, it did jump from one neighborhood to the next. One neighborhood may have got saved, but then we get into another neighborhood, especially along Fair Oaks and East Loma Alta Drive. Just about every single home was gone there. The fire itself, Philip, has moved up into the Angeles National Forest. We were looking at Mount Wilson yesterday. It looks like they saved it. None of the structures have been burnt. You can see through the smoke there. They did lose electricity. I think if they're operating, they're on generators at this point in time. And the fire has laid down very, very nicely. You see some of the antennas. I think we've lost ours. We didn't lose the infrastructure, but we lost the power. Can you come up as wide as you can go, Marcel, for a moment? And I just want to give you some perspective on how big the fire is. We did have a fire helicopter in here. We're starting to see them make some drops. We expect the tankers to come in here pretty soon. But the fire here, this Eaton fire, is going to burn probably throughout next week. With a little more wind, it just won't be able to put it out because it's so inaccessible. The terrain is so steep. But as far as the neighborhoods are concerned, the fire is burned away from Pasadena and Altadena, but destruction is just overwhelming. Correct. No, Mount Wilson's been saved. I don't think anything has come down. We lost power to our facility up there. I think that's what happened, and they're operating on generators. So they'll be back up, but we did not lose anything as far as the infrastructure. We did lose power, though. Yeah, it would have been a historic loss to lose the observatory, and we did see a helicopter yesterday afternoon come up to make a drop, and I wondered why the drop was so far off, and then we learned they canceled because of the wind. So we're very fortunate that we did not lose anything at Mount Wilson yesterday, but if you realize what was happening, the wind had died down in that one area. Lower in the area where we were coming from, it was pretty severe, but on top of the hill, it sort of calmed down, and then what it was, Philip, was a terrain-driven fire. It burned up to the top of the ridge line, and then firefighters were there with critical infrastructure protection. They had a group of firefighters there, and they knocked it down before it got to any of the structures or got to the observatories. So that was fantastic work on their part. But now to just look out over Pasadena and Altadena, I mean, it's just sickening just to look at all of these homes that have been lost. It's hard to really compare to Palisades. They're both just so horrific. You know, obviously the terrain is a little different here from what we saw in those neighborhoods and those tract homes down in the Palisades, but the numbers, unfortunately, are just going to be astronomical as far as how many people have lost their homes and how long it will take to recover and where did they go. And then, of course, I think the number is at least 5 have been reported to have been killed in this fire, and we're afraid that that number may go way up. Yeah, that's possible. I mean, you know, you're nestled right here, right below the foothills. And so I think most of the people who live in this area, they know that fires have come down and burnt in this area before. They should have been ready to get out. They can go to the south, to the right is to the north, to the left is to the south, so they could have evacuated pretty quickly. I think once they saw that thick, heavy smoke and those high winds, I mean, the winds are so strong, Philip, that you almost wanted to leave because of the winds. I mean, in Encino, where I was living at the time, it felt like the trees were going to fall down. And then if you look up in the hill and you see a bright orange glow and you see smoke and flames coming your way, I think you're going to get out of this area as quickly as possible. I think the people in this area have seen fires come down this ridgeline before, but this was different. You know, we haven't had precipitation, I think, in almost 9 months. We had the strongest Santa Ana wind event ever, possibly. And with those two things combined, it was so dry. I think it was the speed that caught everybody, off guard here, just how quickly it moved down into this area. A lot of folks, they'll look up there and say, I have a little time. And in this case, I think we had spot fires, and those hot embers started to home on the other side of somebody that was watching, and now the fire is burning at you from both sides, and boy, you really have to scramble. But it certainly must have been horrific to be living in this area late Tuesday night and Wednesday morning when those winds were howling. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no question. I mean, the human toll is overwhelming, but this is almost like one event when we start to talk about the property that has been lost and the numbers they start throwing out, $150 billion. To me, it almost appears like one event. We have two separate fires, but it's almost like one natural disaster. And when you put those two together, it is going to be by far the biggest disaster in the state of California ever. Right, and so it really gives you an idea what we had, what we are still dealing with in some sense, but what these folks here in Altadena, Pasadena, Palisades, Malibu, the terror they've been through over the last couple of days, and the saving grace is that the winds have died down. Yeah. 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 Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it could take a decade to recover. And the fire in '93 in Malibu, I would fly up and down Malibu, and we lost hundreds and hundreds of homes in that fire. And basically, you could still find foundations that were not rebuilt to this day. Now, Malibu is a little different animal when it comes to getting a building permit, but it could take a decade before these neighborhoods look like they used to. This is not going to be a slow process. It is going to be a slow process. It is not going to be a quick process by any means. And certainly, I've evacuated several times over the last few years, and the home has never burned. I'm so fortunate in that respect. But boy, it just throws your life into a tailspin. Where do you go? Who do you live with? And then if you've lost your home and your goods, you have to go get more clothes. You have to get everything. And I just feel for those people because their whole lives are turned upside down. Do I go to work? I need the money. I got to get to work. But yet I got to stay home and take care of my family. And so all the things that they have to deal with right now, and the amount of people, I think we heard numbers of like over 200,000 that have evacuated so far. Yeah. Okay. Chorus. It's heartbreaking. All right, let's go back. Jay, we're headed back to Van Nuys. Oh, look. Outpost lane. Do you see an outpost lane or not? Fire couldn't have started over there. Did the smoke, but it definitely didn't start over there. That was where you were looking. That is correct. I have a fan. See, be bat for the wrong team. No, I'll leave that to you. I'm staying home for that. Okay, yeah,